let's just go.
Are we on?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Mom.
I'm Dom.
We're scattered minds.
I don't say that, so that felt weird to say.
I know. I was waiting to see if you would.
Challenge accepted.
I'm so glad that you brought that with you because mine is in
You
the
didn't?
other room.
Oh, okay. I have mine.
Yeah,
that I can present.
So we're here to do the wrap up
I'm not going
for
to show you where
Dark
I'm at.
Melody.
Because I didn't get to the end, but it doesn't matter because we're not talking about the end. And I know what the end is now that we didn't have any crude sex scenes through the whole book.
And I gotta say that, so I was gonna talk to her about this and I kind of started, so I had to shut my mouth. So now I have to say this, that I apparently read these books for the sex. Because this was boring as hell.
This literally is the point of the book is these are smutty.
Supernatural sex.
Yes. They're supposed to be like well-articulated smut.
And they are usually. This one was the most unique.
Yes, it was.
That I've ever read of hers. So, I can't say that the book didn't suck. It's a great story. It's very interesting and unique. Except
that it's not,
I was looking for
they
smut.
all have the same plots. They all do the same story. Like the only one the reason why this was so different is because there's never been somebody that's pregnant.
And that just lost her husband. Mm-hmm.
Or had been in like a big earthquake relationship previously. Usually it's like, I had shitty boyfriends and
Yeah. So so I think what I've realized is that I have outgrown these books.
Yeah. That's exactly what I said. I don't know if I said it when we talked last time, but I was like, in my early 20s, I probably read like 10 to 15 of these.
Yeah.
And that was enough. I really love this author. So Christine Feehan.
She's a great writer.
Great author. Yes.
But I'm like, okay, I'm over this whole paranormal romance with the Carpathians.
I will say
it was
I'm
hard
not
to finish it
over the paranormal romance because that's what. But I don't get into it that much. Like I would probably read the Sookie Stackhouse books again because they were good because they just had a lot more to them. I don't know. I liked those.
Okay, I was thinking about getting rid of them because I haven't read them yet and I've had them for a while.
Well, then just don't read. I mean, there's a lot of them.
Maybe if they're good, I should read one or two and see what I think.
Have you read the Hollows series with Rachel Morgan? Oh, that's my fucking favorite. And she's still coming out with some. And there's a lot. Anyways.
I guess that's what I'm going to have to start on.
There's a lot of those. There's like over 20.
Anyway, I have collected quite a
plethora.
Yes, of Christine Feehan books.
You know what? I have
so if you're interested in having any of them, I think I'm probably going to be getting rid of them. Because
are you going to get rid of all of them or just the dark ones?
I don't know.
Because there's like a magic series, or the turbulent seas and all that.
That's the Drake sisters.
Okay.
They're witches.
Yeah, witches. Yeah.
And then there is also.
Well, she still has more. Oh yeah, the wild. I have the wild series
that
too.
they change into leopards and different.
Well, that was weird because he did that too.
Yes, and that's unusual in the Carpathian novels. Yeah, so
kind of crossover.
I guess so. Where the hell did we even leave off?
Oh, I was freaking gonna make a note about that.
We keep saying that.
I say that every time. Where did we lay off?
You guys are having fun anyway, aren't you? We are.
Oh, I didn't introduce my beer.
Oh, we have beer.
We have beer. Oh, well, last time we did do what Red Band. We did Red Band coffee, but it's night again, so we're definitely doing beer. We're not doing coffee. It's not time for that.
Right. But I did post about Red Band because they're our fave for this book. We're getting ready to start a new book.
I do have to mention Red Band. I was trying to make it work out where we could like have a breakfast sandwich and show you how ooey gooey it is and delicious, but night worked out for us.
Yeah, so you're going to have to go there yourself and order a fried egg sandwich because
I'm going to go tomorrow and get one.
They have the best fried egg sandwiches.
I don't think anyone in our area will tell you different.
Yeah.
There's not one person
they're
around
amazing.
that's like, I don't like those. No,
yeah.
They're so good.
They're amazing. Anyway. So,
do you like my impression of people that suck?
They're so good.
I don't like those.
So I decided to get some,
beers for us.
Yeah, I was going to go to a local brewery and get some beers, but I decided I didn't want a growler full of one kind. I wanted to get choices.
They have cans.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're not.
So anyway, I opted for Iowa made.
What's funny is that
beers.
You got Reunion, and Reunion is now doing a crossover beer with Wake that I don't think Wake has right now, but Frank wants it so bad, and I was like, my mom's going to Wake. If she brings that Reunion beer, I'll let you try some. But he was like, I think they only have it at Reunion.
I did bring the Reunion beer, just not the Wake one.
So Reunion's in Iowa City.
Iowa City and Coralville. Yes.
Coralville.
And this bad boy is
Probably
yummy.
delicious. Their juicy or juiced is so fucking good. I think we
This
had that at one
is
point.
a double
on here.
dry hopped hazy IPA with strata,
Hops, yeah.
dank notes of passion fruit, fresh berry,
Dank.
and the dank comes from cannabis.
Oh, it says?
It says.
Shit. Berry and cannabis.
Cannabi.
You drinking a weed beer, girl.
So,
And
my
mine's a-
first thought was, this is fucking delicious.
Is that? I want to try yours.
Okay.
The Pineapple Mango Wizard by Confluence, and they're Des Moines, and I've been there also, but
You've been everywhere.
I've been everywhere. Look, my kid travels
This
for
is
sport,
where
so
good
like,
things come together. Confluence. I'm sorry I couldn't help myself there.
This is a pretty cool can, though. Like, that wizard holding the pineapple, he's about to get down with the mango on the wand.
So is it pineapple and mango flavored?
It is very light. I can't wait to try that.
It looks
blueberry
like
one.
apple juice.
It does. Check this out. There's no, like, really lots of bubbly. It's delicious,
not a lot of
but
bubbly.
it's not very punchy. I love sours. This is a sour, and it's not punchy. It's like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, anyways.
So thank you to our local brewers.
Always.
We appreciate them.
I appreciate the hell out of you for staying
Wholeheartedly.
up all night long and
Love.
making my beer.
Yes. We shall drink it.
I shall drink your beer.
Anyway, okay.
You don't get paid enough, bros. And ladies. I know there's some ladies up in the brew community.
So, Christine, thanks for writing this series, but we're done with it.
We're done with it. I'm really glad that we did this just because I wanted to dip my toes back into this at some point, and this wasn't what I wouldn't have done it otherwise. I wouldn't have done it otherwise.
I was not expecting the story from this, so
It was a good little twist. I really thought I was going to read just like when we first put this together, I was like, how much can we talk about sex on our like web
podcast,
Yeah.
blog,
blog? Yeah.
How much
How
on
much-
YouTube?
how
What do you
much
let
sex
us do?
are we gonna talk
How much
about?
sex is too much sex?
Usually it's like, oh, his rock hard abs and dripping moisture all the way down and glistening sweat and my
muscles
my
and
meat
his-
is so tough right now. Oh, just give it to me, daddy.
Yeah, it's
Basically,
pretty much.
that's where you go.
And if you would have finished the book, you would have gotten a little bit of that.
Yeah. Well, it has to be because you can't go without these books. I mean, I'm not saying it's always very.
I'm gonna go here this time. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna talk about the end of the book, and we don't do that.
So
What I'm gonna say is that all the sex in the book is in the last couple chapters.
Yeah.
All of it, because she's pregnant, so he's not having sex with her.
Right. And
But
she
the
has bad
weirdest
heart,
thing
so she can't have sex.
is that she has a baby. She has a baby,
So I guess the parts that need to be talked
and
about
then
are
she
that
has sex.
immediately afterwards.
I
'Cause
mean-
that seems painful.
Right. So, but so we left off with him. I think
Let's reverse.
taking care of the house.
Okay. He
When
goes
they
in.
were in danger.
He goes in and takes care of the guys that are after them.
Yeah.
In the house.
That
he
are
goes
in
and
the
gets
girls'
stuff that's
house.
necessary from the house, and then this little whack job of a Lisa girl decides that she needs to go work in.
Oh my God.
And puts everybody in danger because she sneaks off to go work while everybody's sleeping.
Yeah.
So, Colin, is that his name?
Colin. Yeah.
He
Colin.
wakes up and he's like, "Oh my gosh, she's gone."
So Colin
Oh, no.
is, I guess, in love with her. The funny thing is that it happens really fast. I mean, they're like,
All of
everybody's all in love all of a sudden. And you're like,
Well, that's how these books go.
you don't even know these people. But yeah.
Everybody's fucking.
So, but they're not.
I know, but we get nothing. We couldn't even get like some smutty
Not even
stuff
a
from Lisa
sneaky.
and Colin.
I know
Like
it.
she couldn't have been like, "Oh, I walked in on them and whoa."
No,
Can we just
no,
get a
we couldn't.
snapshot?
So-
Dang.
But we do realize you do learn pretty early on that Lisa is very needy, and
She went through traumatic events.
she did go through very
And
traumatic
she didn't
events.
handle them well.
Right. So you know how some people
grasp them or
come out of the other side and they're like, This is never going to happen to me again. I am stronger because of it. Not Lisa.
No, she's like timid and I just need someone to protect me, and the world is a cruel place and I don't ever want to be part of the cruelty of the world. And
so she tries to follow through on everything she says she's going to do. If she makes promises, she does it. She follows through.
Yeah.
And that's why she thinks she needs to go to this job that she has already scheduled when they're not when they're in danger.
Yes.
And they're not supposed to be out in the public where people could
you
get to
have to
them.
appreciate her character, because the way that Cullen explains her is she literally doesn't yell. She doesn't like people that yell. She doesn't have a mean bone in her body. She
Yes.
means well to everyone. She wants everyone to get along. She's just one of those rare humans that is all good, encompassing good, that is jaw-dropping. Like, how can you just stay sane?
How can you not believe that someone is after you trying to hurt you?
I don't think it's that. I think that she puts it into her own
really
head.
want to hurt other people.
She's just like, it's not going to happen to me.
Yeah,
and
it's
everybody
not
has
real.
those thoughts.
It's
everybody
not really.
Everybody has these, denial points.
Or it's not as bad as he's making it out to be.
Right.
So she does that. Cullen wakes up and finds her gone. And
Corinne is supposed to be healing.
Yeah, and this is a time when Dayan is underground. Dayan.
No, I'm talking about, how did we say that we were going to say?
Corinne?
What's Arena? Corinne. Yeah, it is Corinne.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Dayan, the Carpathian, he's gone to ground.
Yeah.
He's sleeping the sleep of his people. During the day, they're like vampires, and they don't come out. They're asleep.
Their body is basically
shut down.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, they are like they're dead.
They don't breathe. They don't, their lungs shut down, their heart shuts down. Everything is like comatose, like nothing. It's like they're not living.
And the younger ones cannot wake up out of that until the sun has set. And I say younger ones very loosely because he's 1,000 years old, but they live for centuries.
He explains it at one point where he says, we can get up as the sun is up, but not in the afternoon hours. Yeah. Absolutely never in the afternoon hours, because the sun is fully risen in the sky and their bodies just are completely shut down at that point. They can go to bed late, go into ground late, and then they can rise early. Unlike a vampire. Vampires can absolutely see no sun. They can still see sun, but their body doesn't. It shuts down completely at midday.
Yeah. So there was absolutely nothing he could do. So
they get to this.
Cullen.
Oh yeah, where is she at? She's like in a park, right?
Yeah, they're like at some outdoor
shooting.
There's a waterfall.
She's a model.
Pond. So they're in a shoot and they're in a shoot, and
that's why I was
shooting.
like, I was like, she's a model. We're shooting camera, video, and Lisa goes in, or I'm sorry, Corinne.
Well, when Cullen wakes up and finds her gone, he wakes up
Corinne, yeah.
And so the two of them, big tough people that they
go
are,
after Lisa.
Go to find her.
Yeah. And Corinne was like, I knew this was going to happen. I don't know why I wouldn't have thought about it before, because of course Lisa's going to try to stay dedicated and passionate and follow through with all that she said she's going to do. And they go find her, and there's gunmen there. And
bad guys showed up. Yep.
And Corinne has been very fluently using her gifts.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm brain farting all over the place.
Did we talk about her telekinesis?
Yeah,
that she can move things with her mind. But
so she tries to. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say throughout this, as she is becoming Dayan, he has taken her blood and given her his once,
because that's part of their healing ritual.
Because they're trying to heal her heart and keep her alive so that she can have the baby and not die before the ritual happens.
Well, you have to know that you can be turned into a Carpathian ritualistically if you take their blood 3 times. Which is
it has
also
to have a blood exchange. You have to exchange it. It has to be back and forth.
This is also a running game like with vampires.
A martini shaker for blood.
I don't know. Have you ever read another novel or another book, another storyline that has that, where you have to 3 times? Because it's in the other ones. It's in the Come on, I can't spit it out. I told you I'm brain farting.
It's in the dark
over.
ones all over the place.
It's in the dark ones, but it's also in the Anita Blake.
Oh.
Anita Blake gets powers from everybody by taking their blood, but she is fully linked to Jean-Claude because
he created her?
Because 3 times they transferred blood.
Oh, okay. So, and that is the thing here too, that once the transfer has been completed, they can hear each other's thoughts. They can communicate.
So she has this little bit
in their mind,
bit already. So they're already starting to link with each other.
She sometimes doesn't notice that she's able to talk to him in her mind. It's an afterthought that I just communicated with him,
talking to her in her mind. So when she answers, she doesn't really realize she's answering telepathically.
He is a shadow in her mind. Always. He is always in her mind.
And her heart, I mean, like her in her body, because he's trying to make sure that her heart is pumping properly, that it's not skipping a beat, that she's not getting overly worked up, that everything's blood flow.
Many times he tells her, listen to my heart.
Yeah.
Make your heart beat the same tempo as mine. Yeah.
So we get to the park and she tries to take the gun from somebody telepathically. She sees it happening. And as this is happening, the guy like falls on Lisa while she's getting all this stuff. So there's like a big commotion.
Scramble.
Big scramble. Cullen goes after Corinne because she's taken away by a different guy. So if she's taken away by a different guy, the guy sees Cullen chasing him or some kind of commotion.
A third guy. It's a third guy with a gun.
3 guys all together. One guy she takes the gun from, falls on Lisa. Then another guy takes her away, and as it's happening, Cullen's coming after him. I don't remember what happens.
And he gets shot.
No, I don't remember what happens in that wrestle, but he pushes Corinne down, and somebody else shoots Cullen.
That's what I meant. He gets
shot. So the third person shoots Cullen. So Cullen gets shot. Corinne gets pushed on the ground. And she's unconscious.
Yeah.
So she gets pushed into a rocky.
Her head hits a rock.
Yeah.
It knocks her out. So
also the baby is.
Stressed.
Yeah.
So, and that's something, let's talk about the baby. When her heart is just not working well, and she's known since birth her heart was bad. But the doctors have told her that she shouldn't even have lived as long as she has. So they know with absolute certainty that childbirth will kill her.
Yeah.
So she's pretty much at the point where she's accepted the fact that she's going to have a child. And she will live on through that child, but she will not survive the childbirth. So everything's being done to keep her safe and comfortable and healthy.
So all this healing that Dayan's doing, he is now calling on his brethren to help. So
telepathically.
So from long distance, they're trying to send healing powers and calming energy and everything that they can. I feel very hippie in explaining this, but it is very much like using the ground and the earth and the crystals and like different signs and all this kind of stuff that's like healing power. Everything that has healing power, they're trying to help him in every way to help her. And the baby. So basically, her heart is only relying on these healing powers from this race.
And so at one point, he ends up giving her blood so that it can heal the heart well enough to keep it until the healers get there to kind of go in. Because the healers are able to leave their own bodies and go into other people's bodies to heal them from the inside out. However, by giving her his blood, he's also given blood to the baby. And so it was a huge scene where they were like, okay, we're watching how much blood. Okay, that's enough because the baby is now reacting.
Yeah.
But the baby was fine.
Yeah.
And what started happening is what we found out is that the baby also had powers, also had abilities.
And they said that the baby's abilities might even be more than Corinne's. And so the Carpathian race wants to make sure that both Corinne and the baby are surviving this. So their healers and all of their best healers are coming to try to save this mother and baby because they want them to be part of their race because their race is dwindling. So they're very worried about their own race and their own babies.
And that was a unique point about this story because I know we've said that there's never been someone pregnant before. Well, that's not entirely true because
There's a couple.
Princess is pregnant.
Yeah.
And she is in this book. And the last book I read, which was years ago, was when she got pregnant.
Did you read, was it Dark Prince?
Yes, Dark Prince.
Which I think is like one of the first novels that she wrote in this series. If it's not the very first, it's like the second.
Well,
Because I tried reading them in order.
Oh, I didn't even know there was an order.
There is, but I think you can read these in any order. There's not a legitimate
I
order.
picked up Dark Desire thinking, okay, that'll be the next one I read. And there's literally a note to the reader at the front of it about, I wrote this after Dark Prince, and I thought this was going to be all about Grigori. But Jacques kept coming out, and this book is not about Grigori as much as I want it to be.
I love how that happens. I just got goosebumps because I love when that happens when your characters are, when you like to write and you find
and they're creating themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Like keep that up. I love reading authors' notes that they're like, hey, look,
heck yeah,
this was not meant to be what it was, but I hope you enjoy it. Because then I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this. You just made this book about a character that formed themselves and as a third person to you.
And so
cool.
So as I said at the beginning, I was gonna start reading them, and I was like, no, I think I'm done. But after reading that author's note to the reader, I was like, huh.
I really wanted, that was the one that I
to me.
picked. I picked Dark Desire, and you wanted to do Dark Melody, which I'm glad because I did like this, but it was just so different. I think that's why I liked it, because it was a lot different.
So anyway, the Carpathian race is having trouble birthing children. Something happened many centuries
they said
before that caused them.
It's like it's like a birth control.
Right, but once you get to the end, you will know a little bit more. They have somebody
studying too, so I'm sure that they're going to.
Yeah, the one that's pregnant. She was the doctor. However, what's her name? Anyway, I can't remember that. Nope.
That's the doctor, right? Oh no, she's the magician.
Savannah's Sindel, and I'm trying to.
There's so many. Desiree.
She's got a 4-letter name.
I don't remember that.
Anyway. So they're having trouble keeping children alive in their first year once the women have the babies. And most of the babies that are born and live are males. So that's causing even more of a problem with the males trying to find their life mates. And which is why the story goes on in all of them. Many of the life mates are human.
I just to say, because as I'm thinking about this, I did get confused in this because as I'm reading about all these life mates,
many, yes.
It's not that confused me. What confused me more was that Dan and Damien's sister. So was her husband already Carpathian, or was he a human that got, because
I was confused about that too.
I didn't read that book.
Me either. And I was like,
okay, so
the women,
can the women have human husbands? Because the humans would have to come back, and the males are so powerful. Like, you don't understand how dominant they are in these books. They're so dominant. They're so there's no choice. You don't get a choice as a woman. Like, this is the way that it is. And women are kind of like, ha ha ha. Some people are going to be upset about that because some people get really, really wrapped up in this feminism thing, and that's not what it's about. It's more just it's more the sexual aspect.
Yeah, it is not about
it's not
masculinity.
Yeah, it's not down-putting.
No,
it's just more like they're just so
we
old,
were meant
and you
for
kind of
each
laugh
other,
at it.
And I am here to take care of you.
Yes,
you are everything to me.
And so you woman, you need to calm down because I am the brute.
I've got this.
I am brute strength.
But all
women
of the
nowadays,
women,
we're like,
but all of the life mates are like, whatever. And it is. I love the rapport that they have.
But I need to
between
know
each other of the couples.
I need to know.
I get that too because I agree. Because I was like, whoa, wait. Only the Carpathian males search for their life mates throughout.
No, because the women have to find their life mate.
Right, and so I'm like. Right, but you don't really hear about that part of it at all.
So are these
always
books
the men?
Do you hear me?
Looking
Christine Feehan,
for their women.
Do you understand? I need to know. Are there books that I need to read that are just about The women finding their
Women
life mate?
Carpathians?
And are they human or are they Carpathian males? Because if I'm looking for why aren't we reading? Do I have to read it in reverse style? Is it him coming after her? Because she's really the Carpathian. So
Can a female Carpathian change a man into a Carpathian?
I would say yes, but how is he going to be that strong? How is he
We've
going to know
never
his own
heard
power? Is it going to take a long time for them to understand what their power is?
Oh my God.
Are
they going to know how to shift into the air?
mind blown. I'm mind blown right now.
And now, so are you.
Shit. I didn't answer any questions. I just gave you 50,000 more.
Hey, that's what makes it fun. I have this thing. This has nothing to do with the story, but I bookmarked this page. Yes, I dog-eared it.
Come after us.
What
I
else?
dog-ear mine too
because
my book.
There is a typo.
Oh shit!
And I want to know if you have one on the same page in your book.
I probably do. We have the same book.
So it says, his hands were incredibly gently as he cupped the soft weight of her.
Yes. Gently as he cupped the soft weight of her.
His hands should be incredibly gentle, not gently.
Ooh, I like that.
I do too. I love finding things like that. If
you need a new editor, I'm just kidding. I would never take anybody out of their job. Psst, psst.
But if you wanted to write some more books,
just so that I can have them on the freebie. No, I'm just kidding. Don't ever do that.
Yeah. I just had to touch on that, and this is the appropriate place to do so because we're talking about this. So
introduce this one. Oh, I need to.
Yeah. So what happens really is we get to the point of Corinne got hurt.
Oh shit.
So did Colin.
Colin got hurt.
And now they're in the hospital.
But all the healers are here now.
Well, first they're in the hospital and the doctors are like, she's not going to live.
Yeah.
We're keeping her alive now to keep this baby in her as long as possible.
Yeah, they're like using the pumps and stuff to keep her.
And so then Dayan comes in and he's like, nope, she's out. And he
whisks her away.
And he is the pumps and stuff. I mean, he becomes the machines that were keeping her alive.
That's what I was saying. Is he really is doing
keeping
all the work.
her alive. Yeah. And takes her away to the cave, deep underground, and the healers arrive. But the same thing kind of happens with Colin.
You know what? I really liked that Colin. So the Carpathians took him under their wing and were like, we care about this human.
He warned us of the danger.
Yeah, and we want to keep him alive.
Danger.
So he was really fucked up. Like they shot him and ruined his insides. It ricocheted inside of his body.
And you don't find that out right away either. It's like he's shot and then he's in the hospital and you're like, oh, and then it's like, oh, he may not make it.
He's like, what is it?
You're like,
it hit his kidney or lungs or something. Like he was just not bleeding.
They didn't think he was going to make it. Yeah.
And so one of the healers comes to rescue him and give him some of their blood. Was it Damien? No, it wasn't Damien.
Darius.
Darius. No. Darius is the one that...
Sindel and Damien. Is that correct?
No, Darius is the leader.
But he's not the one with Sindel. I can't remember that either. But
two vampires are Carpathian. Ooh,
there are so many
characters
names in this book.
Yeah. There's not that doesn't always happen. This book is very unique. It brings in a lot of characters, and not a lot of them do that. And if they do, it's because they all come together at one point to fight a vampire. That's usually how it happens. And there's not a lot of like we have to remember family names and see who's with who. That doesn't usually happen, but this does because there's a band. And there's a lot of family members, and there's just a lot of life mates with the family members, and then who's who and where's where. Yeah. A lot. Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot more than we're even talking about because they talk about a wedding. They talk about who's living in the mountains, whose underground bunker is this.
And actually, there is a big fight scene with a vampire. There usually always is. And the funny thing, that's another thing about this book, that he fought mortals most of the book.
Yeah, so
the big vampire scene was not till closer to
it was very fast. It was 2 pages. I counted because I was like, okay, usually this is a big thing. Well, it was, but it was like immediately there's a vampire, immediately we need to go get him, and now, Corinne, you need to call your man back. So back up, Colin gets a transfusion with their blood, which means that he's ultimately linked to them forever, and he gets the choice. Okay, you are going to be linked with us. That means we're always in your mind. You can always call on us if you need us. You know all of our secrets. You're always going to know this. Do you want to know this? Because we will erase your memories.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
But if you want to know it, you can never tell Lisa. Ever, because she can never handle it.
That's right.
And he was like, well, I love Lisa and I'm going to be with her, but I love you guys and you're my family. So, yep, I want to keep my memories. So now this guy has to be part of their race and never go to the doctor and give his blood because he has their blood.
Yeah.
And he can never tell Lisa that he can never go to the doctor. And he can never tell Lisa about his link to these non-humans. And so he's got like this real heavy burden. But I thought, I was like, wow,
think about all
they
that.
touched on that real quick. And I was like, whoa,
Yeah,
I had that choice.
Yeah, and a lot of things in this book are like that. Real quick, like the vampire fight. It was like, the image in my mind was like a balloon. It was like you blew it up and you blew it up too quickly and too big and it popped. It was like, boom, and it was done. Yeah. That's how the vampire fight scene was. We didn't get a whole lot of it.
A lot of the times it's like...
Except what was going on in his head about it.
It wasn't even that much either. It was only like a couple paragraphs because he all of a sudden... He talks about this all the time. And it usually happens through these books where these males are almost to the point where they are going to turn to vampires because they just have so much darkness in them. And that's what happens. They kind of let their urge to just kill people overwhelm them, so they turn into vampires.
Darkness takes over.
And if they find their life mate, then that's their light. Then they start seeing color, then they start feeling love, then they get this overwhelming emotion that wants to keep them alive.
And they don't become vampires.
Well, he never got to claim his life mate because she's pregnant. So it's too much damage to her, too much danger to her and the baby. Right. So when he goes after this vampire, it's like, the vampire's tricky. Here I am trying to get it. I see where you're going. And all of a sudden he's like tearing the heart out of the vampire and he loses his shit. He's like, the darkness, I'm going to ravage and blah. And then it's like, oh my gosh.
And then they're like, Corrine, you need to call him back now.
And then she uses all of her power to try to bring him back. And while she does so, she's fading away. She's dying.
Literally.
And yeah, she really is. Like, she thinks that she's talking to him and she's like, wow, I'm so tired. Wow, why am I so tired? He'll be here soon. You'll be here soon. Don't worry, Dan. You'll be here soon.
And I'm just going to go to sleep.
Yeah, and I'm going to go. And she's dying. Like, that's it. Her heart stops. She understands, kind of, because you understand that her heart is like missing beats. She's like, oh wow, there's a weird rhythm that I'm hearing. Well, that's her heart, obviously. And
skipping
beats. And Darius is there. Is it Darius? I always forget his name. It's like Damien, Darius, whatever his name is.
Darius is the one that is the leader. Most. Yes, he is. That's Darius.
He's not the prince. Grigori is the prince, but Darius is the leader of their group, of their family, their close-knit family.
And he is
so factual and just dominant and straightforward, and he's about the business.
You know he's in charge.
Yeah.
But, and they all respect him because of it too. I mean, it's not a domineering kind of thing. It's he's in charge, and that's the way we like it.
So I think that the wrap up of this is that she gets the choice. She finally gets told, and Dan shows her that he can shapeshift into the jaguar leopard. And she understands that he's not human, but he has told her the only way that you get to live is if you are living with me. You are my life mate. Either we live together or neither of us live. And my family is here to help you and the baby. And she understands that the baby will probably be part of his race because that's how the baby's going to end up living, and what they really are, that they're not vampires, and but they do drink blood, and they do sleep during the day, and they're different species. And he explains a lot of this to her, and she gets to choose if she wants to be part of them or not. And as she's dying, obviously that's where the choice is made, because she's going to die. So,
so really what kind of choice have you got? You're going to die, or you're going to live forever as something else.
Yeah. So I'm interested. I really am interested to see what the baby thing.
Oh, and I can't tell you anything about it because you haven't.
Well, it doesn't matter because we can't talk about that anyways. That's the very end.
However, I can say that Baby does live.
Well, what?
Baby does live.
There's not usually sad endings in this. I'm just
Baby
saying.
does live, and her name is Jennifer.
Oh, Jennifer.
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing because they all have these weird names.
I know it.
And then she wanted to name her baby Jennifer.
It should be Yennefer, like
Yennefer.
from, what's that show, The Witcher? Have you watched The Witcher?
That's good. Yes. You should watch that too. Anyway, okay, so wrapping up, what we're skipping is the whole part of that we're not telling you about.
We can't just tell you everything. I mean, we tell you the whole fucking
ritual,
book.
of the exchange, of what happens.
You just can't.
You don't get to hear that part because you have to read this yourself. And I would say, it's a very romantic book.
Always. They always are.
But I think much more so because it's not just, let's get it going, let's get it on. Because honestly, for most of them, when they find their life mate, they're fucking.
It's immediate. It is like,
Yes.
I'm ravaging.
And they're all over the place. I mean, they have powers to take their clothes off and put them on with a thought, okay? So they're like, okay, now we're naked. And they're doing it.
Yeah. You don't have a choice.
So explore.
Yes. Go ahead and live your many wildest dreams in these books.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the next one that we're doing because I just picked this bad boy up.
Yeah, you're going to have to figure out what's going on with this. And as did I. You were still reading this one, so I...
Did you start?
Yes.
Do you like so far?
Yes.
It's supposed to be fucking weird. And
it is weird.
I really like that. I like to cover this, although it's not like you can't. Anyways, so
this is our next book.
This is one that I have been wanting to read for a long time, and this is how I've come about it, is that I always look for like psychological thrillers or odd books relating sort of similar to like Chuck Palahniuk, because he's just this writer that nobody writes like, and I love him. And some of his books are very sexual and odd like that, but some of them are just gory and twisted and just fucked up. The shit that you just don't, that people go through that you don't want to talk about, he talks about. And that's...
Yeah. It really is. I would agree with that. He puts real life in the books, and you're like,
holy shit, I didn't even need to know all that. But you're
people
like,
write about this? Yeah.
So
this is not Chuck Palahniuk.
This is not Chuck Palahniuk, but this book has come up so many times in the list of books that I've looked like similar to this or similar to that, and so I'm like, this is one, and I've never read any of his books, but I've heard that he's a great author and that he writes the fucked up shit that I like, so that's what I'm all about, and I'm like, I'm ready to get it going. If you've read it, let me know what you think. I also got,
So this is funny because she said, here's what we're reading next. And I was like, okay.
This is what I want to read.
So I checked it out. No, sight unseen. I had no idea what I was reading. And then I started reading the jacket cover.
Schizophrenia right there.
And I was
the first
like,
word that I found. I'm like, I'm in it.
Okay. Descent into Madness. I like that.
Uh-huh.
And I read the first part of it. I didn't even read the back cover because I was like, I think I'm going to like this.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I know it is because it's right up my fucking alley. And I've gotten it on so many recommendations of so many lists of books that are similar or that I like already or, whatever. So I'm like, it's time. It is time. I also got I don't know if I told you, I'm sure I did, but for Christmas, Frank got me House of Leaves.
Did you read it already?
No.
Damn her.
No.
She got all these books.
But listen, if you've never opened the book of House of Leaves, you will know why because it's not a book. It's you open and there's like this much of a poem, and then the next page is blank, and then you open over here and there's like a graph of something, and then hey, this word is highlighted in a different color, and hey, over here, it makes no fucking sense. And I've heard some people are like, this book sucks, and some people are like, I've read this book 8,000 times and I still don't get all the things because it's so much that, oh my god, it's mind-blowing and I love it. So I have it and I'm scared of it. It's the only book I've ever been scared of. I'm not scared of horror books. I've read things that are like, what is the scariest book you've ever read? And stupid books that I've read, they're not scary. And this book,
I don't get scared easily.
It's just,
I don't get scared easily, and the biggest thing about this one when I read it was that Stephen King said,
it's on his list.
I think on mine, I have the paperback, and Stephen King said, this book scared the hell out of me.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't get scared easily.
Yeah, I remember.
I was like, ooh, I like Stephen King.
Mm-hmm. And he does a lot of recommendations on his book. There's another book that I have. Actually, I have two. I'll have to show them to you. But I just got them in, and they're also recommendations that have been high, and I had to order them from libraries out of state so that I could get them because nobody has them around here, and I don't want to buy them. So I ordered them from out of state, and they're both here, and now I'm going to have to binge read all these books.
We may have to binge read some books. And we have had an idea that we maybe will both be reading some separate books so we can talk to you about the kind of horror that we're into and what we're reading.
And just talk to each other about it, because if she likes it and wants to recommend it, then she can sway me. And if she's swaying me, then maybe she'll sway you and vice versa.
Yep. So we may come at you with a few different things here soon. We'll see. Things are in the works.
I mean, I always give up these little shout outs anyways, because I'm always reading another book besides the book that we're reading. So, yeah.
Do you know that we never cheersed our beers?
Mother son of a... We're pouring another beer. I got to get out of here.
Cheers to you.
Cheers. I'm done.
She's out.
I'm going to have another one.
We've got to go.
Would you just go away? I'm done with this.
Okay, we're done. Have a great night.